Bryan Kohberger, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students in November of 2022, will appear in court tomorrow for hearings that could have a huge impact on the outcome of his trial. Abby Wilt will be at the Ada County Courthouse covering those hearings this week. So, Abby, what can we expect?
Brian, the hearings will determine what evidence will be shown to the jury when the trial begins in August. The defense is trying to block certain evidence like Kohberger's Amazon purchase history and the surviving roommates' testimonies. Whether evidence is shown or not in trial could be the determining factor in whether Bryan Kohberger will be charged with the death penalty. And that'll be decided in the Ada County Courthouse this week. More than 170 legal filings are being discussed. Most notably, evidence in the case the defense doesn't want in trial.
Court's worried about will happen if we don't have better disclosures. The jury will be in and out and in and out.
First, Kohberger's Amazon purchases. The prosecution alleges Kohberger bought a K-bar knife, sheath, and sharpener on Amazon, and they say they have receipts to prove it. The sheath was found at the crime scene with DNA linked to Kohberger. Prosecution says it could have been planted at the scene. They previously argued that going through Kohberger's records like his Amazon shopping history was a violation of his privacy.
What training do you have in Amazon accounts and records?
I do not have any training.
The defense also argues that the 911 call from the surviving roommates contains hearsay and shouldn't be included in the trial.
Okay, and tell me exactly what's going on.
One of the roommates is passed out, and she was drunk last night, and she's not waking up.
Okay.
Oh, and they saw some man in their house last night. She's not waking up.
But the prosecution is arguing the call qualifies as a, quote, excited utterance under Idaho rules of evidence and should be played during the trial. The defense and prosecution are also expected to discuss the timing of the incident in court. Court filings show Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk, the 2 surviving roommates, were repeatedly texting and calling the victims around 4:20 a.m. the morning of the murders. The 2 surviving roommates also text each other saying things like, "I am freaking out right now," and "he had something over his forehead and little and mouth," and "Bethany, I am not kidding, I am so freaked out." Those texts were at 4:37 a.m. Mortensen appears to start using her phone again around 7:30 a.m. when she calls her parents and gets on social media. The 2 survivors then call 911 at 11:56 a.m. The defense says if these texts are admitted, all cell phone records must be shown at trial to show the whole picture. Prosecution says the chosen texts portray the timeline between the murders and the 911 call, and that's all that's needed in trial. And these arguments could have a major impact on the trial, and that's just a brief summary of a few of the motions being discussed. The defense is also asking for the word murder to be removed from the trial, and they don't want certain expert witnesses to testify. And the hearings are scheduled to go through Thursday. We'll be covering it all for you on KTVB and live streaming on KTVB+.
So we'll hear these or see these hearings on Thursday, but I'm guessing we won't get an opinion or a decision by that judge until, well, probably later, obviously.
Right, probably at least a couple of days later, but we'll be following it.
All right, thank you very much, Abby.